The family of Lerako, a story of hope and hard work, a children's short story book by the BAFANAS Thembi Fifi, produced in 2025. Chapter 1. The family of Lerako. In the peaceful village of Lerako, surrounded by rolling hills and golden fields, lived a humble family. Mpalaang, the father, was a strong man with hands rough from farming. Santu, the mother, was kind and always busy, her laughter filling the small heart. Their son, Salang, was a curious boy of 7 with bright eyes and a love for stories. The family was not alone. There was Blankie, their playful dog, who was always wagging its tail. Joburg, their dependable cow, who gave them milk every day, and Snow, their loyal white horse, who helped them travel to nearby market. Life wasn't easy for the family. Their farm was small and they barely grew enough to eat. But they worked together with determination. Even though we are poor, we are rich in love, Mpalaang would often say, and everyone would nod because it was true. Chapter 2. A busy morning. At the crack of dawn, a rooster crowed, signaling the start of another day in Lerako. Mpalaang stretched and stepped outside to make a fire under the tree, while Santu began boiling water for tea. Salang rubbed his sleepy eyes and quickly got dressed. Salang, go check on Joburg, Santu called. Salang grabbed a bucket and hurried to the kraal, where Joburg mooed softly, waiting to be milked. After milking, Salang joined his parents in the field. They pulled weeds around the maize and watered the little spinach plants. "Good job, Salang," said Mpalaang, patting his son's back. By the time the sun started to rise higher in the sky, Salang's chores were done. He grabbed his school bag, and after a quick breakfast of porridge, he and Blankie were off to school. "Work hard, son," Santu called after him. Always do your best." Chapter 3. A surprise visitor. That afternoon, as Salang played with Blankie near the house, the dog began barking excitedly. "Woof, woof!" Blankie raced toward the road, his tail wagging furiously. Salang ran to see what was happening. Coming down the dusty road was a shiny big car. It stopped right in front of their house. Salang called for his parents and they all came outside, curious and a little nervous. Out of the car stepped 2 smiling tourists with large bags in their hands. "We are passing through and wanted to meet the people of Lerako," one of them said. The tourists handed over boxes of food, bread, biscuits, and even sweets. "This is for you," they said kindly. They also gave Salang a bag of toys. His eyes lit up as he held a red toy car. "Thank you so much," said Santu, her voice filled with gratitude. Mpalaang shook their hands warmly and the family waved goodbye as the car disappeared down the road. That night they had a feast and Salang fell asleep hugging his new toy. Chapter 4. A problem with Snow. One sunny afternoon, Snow, the family's faithful horse, was grazing near the edge of the field. Suddenly, Snow neighed loudly and limped back to the barn. Salang noticed something was wrong. "Papa, Snow is hurt," he shouted. Mpalaang rushed over and saw a bite mark on Snow's leg. "It's a snake bite," he said, his face full of worry. The nearest veterinarian was hours away and Snow needed help fast. Mpalaang quickly gathered herbs from the forest, crushed them into a paste, and applied it to the wound. The family took turns watching over Snow. "Will Snow be okay?" Salang asked, his eyes brimming with tears. "We must have faith," Santu said, stroking his hair. For 2 days, Snow rested in the barn while the family cared for him. Finally, on the 3rd day, Snow stood up and neighed softly. "He's better," cried Salang, and the whole family cheered. Snow was their hero, and they were glad he was back to his old self. Chapter 5. The Storm. One afternoon, dark clouds gathered over Lerako. The wind began to howl, and soon heavy rain poured down. The family hurried to secure the animals. "Mpalaang, bring the chickens inside," Santu shouted as she ran to cover the vegetables with sacks. Salang and Blankie stayed close, holding onto each other. The storm grew fiercer. Lightning lit up the sky, and thunder boomed so loudly that Joburg moved in fright. "Don't worry, Joburg," Salang whispered, stroking the cow's head. The family huddled together in their little hut, listening to the rain hammering the roof. When the storm finally ended, the village was silent except for the dripping of water. "Let's see what the storm has done," Mpalaang said, stepping outside. Chapter 6. The Rainbow After the Storm. The next morning, the sun shone brightly, and the air was fresh and clean. Salang gasped in awe as he pointed to the sky. "Look, Mama, a rainbow!" The family marveled at the beautiful colors stretching across the sky. When they reached the farm, they were surprised to see their pond full of water. The rain had filled it to the brim, and fish were swimming in it. "We can now catch fish," Mpalaang said, smiling. This storm was a blessing in disguise. Salang ran to the pond with a small net, catching a fish for dinner. The vegetables looked greener than ever, and the animals seemed happy with the fresh grass. Chapter 7. The final chapter. A full table. That evening, the family sat together for a special meal. They had roasted fish, milk from Joburg, and fresh spinach from the garden. "This is the best dinner ever," Salang said with a big grin. As they ate, Mpalaang looked around the table and said, "Even when times are hard, we must never lose hope. After every storm, there is a rainbow." The family nodded, their hearts full of gratitude. They knew that their strength and love for one another would always carry them through any challenge. The end.